Good morning, everyone. Pete Pardo here from Sea of Tranquility. Welcome to another edition of the Listening Room. It's been a couple weeks, right? Figure it's kind of cool to wait a couple weeks because then you start to amass new things or pull stuff out of the stacks and all that kind of stuff. And, we're all on lockdown, so, a lot of us are having a lot of extra time to listen to music. And I know myself personally, I have no choice but to listen to music because that's kind of what it's my part-time gig here on the YouTube channel as well as on the website is talking about and reviewing music. So it's like I got no choice. I got to be listening whenever I'm not doing something else like working for my day job or doing something with the wife or the family. I got to be listening to music. Like I said, don't have much of a choice in the matter, but I enjoy it. That's my life, right? I love music. So a lot of cool stuff been coming across my desk recently, things I've been pulling out of the stacks, stuff I purchased, all sorts of good stuff. So here we go. Going to run down some of the things I'm listening to, and then, of course, I want to hear what you guys are listening to over the last week or two, or since we talked about this last, right? So first and foremost, brand new, hot off the presses, 26 East Volume 1, the brand new one from Dennis DeYoung, of course, the former vocalist and keyboard player, songwriter from Styx. His brand new solo album with, basically, this is the same band playing on this album that he's been touring with for the last number of years, which I've had a chance to see them live, and I think they're a pretty terrific band, and I was kind of waiting and hoping. It's like, well, when are we going to get when are we going to get an album proper from these guys? And here we have it. So I've had this about a week. So here we have Dennis along with drummer Mike Morales, second keyboard player John Blasucci, bassist Craig Carter, guitarist and vocalist Jimmy Leahy. Leahy, I believe he says his name. He's kind of does the James Young side. Then you got August Zadra on lead guitar and vocals, does the Tommy Shaw stuff. Suzanne DeYoung, his lovely wife, who sings a little background vocals, and of course Dennis. So there's the guys right there. Pretty good album. I've been reading lots of kind of online reviews and people talking about this album. I'm a big Styx fan, and there's a lot of folks who have been talking about how it's as good, if not better, than Styx's The Mission. I don't quite think that, but it's actually a very strong album, and I think he's got like most of the rest of the album because it's going to be a part 2, which I believe we may see later this year. This is on Frontier Records. I'm not going to say too much about this now because I'm actually looking forward to having on the show to discuss this album with me. Longtime Sea of Tranquility writer Simon Bray is hopefully going to be joining us on the show for the first time ever real soon. And I said to him, how about the first episode we do a kind of dual review point-counterpoint on the new Dennis DeYoung album because he's a big fan as well. So that's coming up. So stay tuned for that. What else we got? All right. How about Gillan, the Japanese album? Back when I did the Gillan show not long ago, I talked about how I did not have this particular album on CD, which is the first one he did with the new Gillan band. They kind of regrouped, had some lineup changes shortly thereafter, re-recorded, this was released only in Japan, re-recorded a debut album, which became Mr. Universe, whereas, a good chunk of the songs from this album wound up on that album. Of course, re-recorded with the new members in the band, so on and so forth, but this is also pretty damn spectacular because it does have a chunk of songs that did not make it onto Mr. Universe or any subsequent albums. Pretty heavy album, pretty raw, in your face. I dig it a lot. Well worth getting. I now have the full Gillan band catalog. Speaking of Gillan, later this week, on Friday, as a matter of fact, Martin Popoff's coming back on the show. We are going to give our top 10 songs from this particular band, Gillan. All right. Thanks to one of our loyal viewers, George. Thank you so much, my friend. I now have a copy of this, Mahavishnu Orchestra, Between Nothingness and Eternity, the unreleased tracks. So, of course, Between Nothingness and Eternity was taken from a show at Central Park that the original lineup of the Mahavishnu Orchestra performed. On that original album or CD release, you got, 3 tracks, all stuff that they were working on, which at the time had not made it to a studio album, so they released a live album with these unreleased songs, but they played a full set. So here, you can only get this through the Mahavishnu box set. I now have a copy, thanks to George, of all the rest of the tracks from that show. Pretty stellar. Play it back to back. Man, Wish I was in attendance there. I was a little too young, though, but oof. Unbelievable. This band was so good. So good. Thank you, George. Appreciate it. Been listening to this quite a bit. All right. Thanks to a recommendation from another one of our viewers. I forget exactly who, because a lot of people recommended stuff to me. I don't know. I did a couple shows recently talking about Canadian bands. It might have been the Saga show. I don't remember exactly what. And someone was like, Pete, have you ever checked out Canadian band Gatto? And I was like, I have not. I got to. Gatto, got to. Get it? Yeah, it's early. So I decided to get their live album called Live, spelled Lighve. Best seat in the house. Double disc live set. Gatto were a trio. This is a pretty rocking album. Pretty rocking album. Pretty heavy. Lots of cool guitar riffs and solos. Cool grooves. Heavy tunes. Just good. Solid. Late 70s Canadian heavy rock. I dig it. I'd never heard of these guys before. Ever. I'm quite surprised. Now I'm happy that I heard them. So thanks for the tip. Appreciate it. Been listening to this a lot. The Moving Sidewalks box set, the complete collection. Of course, if you don't know who they are, you should know who that guy is. That's a very, very, very young Billy Gibbons from ZZ Top. This is the band he had before he formed ZZ Top with the other two guys, right? This is very cool stuff. Very cool late 60s Southern psychedelia. In fact, it's basically bass drums, guitar, Hammond or organ. Billy sings most of the lead vocals. One of the other guys sings a bit as well. It's amazing how much this stuff sounds like Jimi Hendrix Experience of the same time. So, you know, obviously Billy and Jimmy were friends. I think he took a lot of influence from Jimmy. So adding that kind of Texas kind of southern raunch to the music, but the rest of it's very psychedelic, kind of swirling organ, fuzzy bluesy guitars, lots of kind of like studio trickery going on, a lot of, you know, like a lot of the kind of weird psychedelic and trippy effects that Hendrix was doing with his guitar parts on a lot of those early albums, all over the place on here. It's amazing. There are times listening to this where I actually think I'm listening to the Experience. You got a couple discs in here and a cool booklet. I think I've showed this before, but this is the main album. Okay, Flash. And then you've got an extra CD. Whoops, as I drop the CD I'm in my lap. Hold on. So this is the second disc in the set, which has like all sorts of rarities and B-sides and live stuff and all sorts of goodies. So pretty cool little package, I think. Very cool band. If you're into ZZ Top and Billy Gibbons in particular, I absolutely think you need to have that. It's quite good. What else we got here? All right, so again, I need to special thanks to a certain individual named Anthony, longtime viewer, fellow Nearfest attendee. He has been very kind to hook me up with some really cool stuff over the last few months. And he actually did something real recently that just got me started and on something that there's like no looking back now. So he was very kind to send me this Jethro Tull Heavy Horses box set with the book and the DVDs and all sorts of cool stuff and rarities and Steven Wilson remix and all that kind of stuff. And I got all the Tull stuff. But I have not to date, well, before this, taken the plunge into getting these box and book sets because it's like, God, how many times are you going to keep buying the Tull catalog? I've bought between LPs and cassettes and CDs and then reissues and then remasters. I mean, I've bought the Tull, most of the Tull catalog like multiple times over. So I wasn't prepared for that. But then this came in the mail one day. And again, thank you, Anthony. I greatly appreciate it. And I fell in love with the packaging, the book, and the fact that Ian Anderson continues to pull unreleased Tull gems from the vaults. You would think between Nightcap and the 20th anniversary box set and all the extra tracks on the remasters and reissues, you would think that the well has run dry for Tull. Not the case, folks. There are even more unreleased great gems from the vaults that he's put on these box sets, and I'm like, just when you thought you heard all the great Tull stuff that was hidden away in the closet, out comes more. And I'm like, geez, how did some of these like long lost nuggets are better than other bands' whole catalogs. It's crazy. Some of the stuff is just as good as what wound up on the album. Anyway, so after getting that, I was like, well, you know what? Now I got the bug. Got to keep going. So I picked this up. Got the Stormwatch one. I mean, God, there's a couple songs. I mean, we talked about it on the, the Tull unreleased songs from the Songs in the Vault show, but man, there's some stuff on here. It's like, poof. And it ain't just stopped there. All right. Picked up Passion Play recently, which has the entire Chateau de Huerville, or however they say that, sessions. Okay. We heard the Chateau Disaster tapes on the Nightcap collection, which came out in the mid-90s. But here you have what I'm assuming, okay, and it's got a new stereo, Steven Wilson stereo remix, is the Chateau recordings as they were originally meant to be released. Of course, we know the story. Ian and the band were not happy with the way everything was sounding, the way they were coming out, so they basically scrapped everything, went to a different studio, and re-recorded the whole album, which later became a Passion Play, right? But here you have the original intent for that album release, which actually sounds like bits of a Passion Play and bits of I'm drawing a complete blank, guys. War Child, that's it. Knew it would come to me. It's early, guys. It's early. So very, very cool stuff, and the remix on the main album, the Passion Play, very, very cool. And you get these box sets are just absolutely gorgeous. I mean, just you get some killer photographs and things. It doesn't get much better than this, guys. It does not. If you're a Tull enthusiast, boy, and full like touring itineraries and all that kind of stuff. Wait, there's more. Pick this up as well. Too Old to Rock and Roll, Too Young to Die. One of my least favorite Tull albums, but I decided to get it because it's a pretty cool package, and it was quite affordable, and I was like, well, you know what, I'm going to do it. The other ones on my radar are actually a bit pricey because, they only made a limited amount of these, and you didn't scoop them up eventually, originally for like, 35, 40, 50 bucks. Now they're in the hundreds, or some of them are more. So I'm lamenting the fact that I have not seen a box of Minstrel in the Gallery for under $200, and I really want that one. Aqualung and Stand Up. Stand Up's got you open the booklet up and you get the actual Stand Up kind of little diorama thing. Very cool. Those are like, around, you can get copies for like 150 bucks or something like that. War Child is pretty pricey as well. Thick as a Brick is out of control. There's very few available, and it's hundreds of dollars. So, but cool stuff nonetheless, and hopefully we'll be seeing A coming out soon, and then Broadsword and the Beast, I guess, is right around the corner. I ordered the 40th anniversary of Benefit, but I hear rumblings now they're going to release a 50th anniversary edition of that, of course. So I should have that any day now. But anyway, what else? What else we got? Anthony was also kind enough. Hold on. So Anthony also sent me recently Patrick Moraz, Out in the Sun, as well as the story of. Very cool stuff. Great keyboard player, man. I just wish we heard more of him and a more, I mean, it's like he's got there's little sprinkles of Moraz all over the place, but he deserved, I kind of wish he hung out in Yes a little bit longer, or joined some other really, really notable band and showed off his talents. I know he was in the Moody Blues for many, many years, but I think you know where I'm coming from there. And then this very cool MJ2. MJ12, MJ12, okay. Percy Jones from Brand X and Company. Really good proggy fusion. Good stuff. What else? Pick this up. Caravan, Better by Far. Enjoying that. One of their latter periods things. I've been listening to a lot of Caravan lately because I'm eventually going to do a Caravan ranking the albums for you. Toto, Old is New. This was previously only available on their recent box set. Okay, these are like some unreleased and newer things that they recorded, didn't make some albums, so here you have them all together. Just kind of getting into that, so I don't have much to say about it yet. All right, lots of Pat Metheny shit here still coming in. Gary Burton reunion with Pat Metheny, Will Lee, Peter Erskine, Mitch Foreman. Really good stuff. More Gary Burton here is with Chick Corea, Pat Metheny, Roy Haynes, and Dave Holland. I just can't get enough Metheny lately. I've been listening to so much Metheny. It's crazy. John Scofield and Pat Metheny, I Can See Your House From Here. Dynamite album. Two guitar greats together. Love it. Here we have question and answer with Pat Metheny, Dave Holland, and Roy Haynes. Really good stuff here. What else? How about Pat Metheny Rejoicing, old ECM release, along with Charlie Hayden and Billy Higgins. Is there any others here? I think you might have seen all these other ones. Pat Metheny Group, The Road to You, recorded live in Europe. That's quite happening. I think you saw this. Pat Metheny Trio Live. Stellar stuff here. I got a whole bunch of other things, but I think I've showed them all off already because it seems like the last 3 listening room shows have been littered with Metheny. What else? And these I need to do reviews on. Metal Church from the Vault. Recently released. Very cool. You'll see a review of this one this week. Both of these, hopefully. Cirith Ungol, Forged in Black. Killer. And then also you hopefully will see a review from this. Brand new one from Sweden's cool retro rock band Sienna Root, The Secret of Our Time. We have a new female vocalist now, so it kind of changes the dynamic of the band, the sound, but I dig it. Very cool. So, like I said, reviews coming to that stuff this week. And, God, what else we got here? Oh, hold on. Wait, there's more. Thanks to our loyal viewer, Nick. How about Mata Hoople, Mental Train? Cool box set. Okay, all the Island Years albums. Amazing how different a lot of this stuff is from the more kind of, I guess you can call it glammy years, right? Here you got a cool mix of a little bit of psychedelia, some really good heavy bluesy rock. Okay, little touches of folk here and there, but just really good, really strong. Cool box set. All right, box sets are fun, right? Box sets are fun. I like the box sets that are nice and compact like that. Remember the old days you get these box sets, they're like these gigantic things that you can't actually store anywhere or fit anywhere. It's frustrating, but nice to have that. Like I think, these are absolutely spectacular. This is how a box set should be. Okay, you got the booklet, everything is kind of housed, front, back. Can't beat that. Can't beat it. I think that's about it, guys. I'm trying to see if I got anything else here just kind of hidden away. I might as well show this off because I will be hopefully reviewing this very soon. I just need to kind of... I'm dropping shit all over the place. And Tala is laying underneath me and she almost got a CD to the head. That's what happens when you get huskies laying underneath your desk. Right? All right, what was I going to show you here? As I'm trying to neatly, I'm too organized for my own good. Check this out. Todd Rundgren's Utopia. Benefit from Moogie Klingman. Looking forward to this. This just came in recently. It's from 2011. So I don't know if you guys remember. I do. I didn't get to see the show or any of the shows, but they did a tribute to or kind of benefit from Moogie and got all the, most of the classic guys back to play all the classic Utopia stuff. Fantastic. Looking forward to checking that out. So there you have it, all right? Listening room. So nearly 20 minutes. A lot of new stuff. Curious to see what you guys are listening to. How you've been kind of helping yourself get through these crazy times. So let's talk about the crazy times here now that we're kind of towards the end here. So a lot of people ask me, Pete, how do you feel about what's going on out there and all this kind of stuff? And it's like, well, you know what? We've had some really unfortunate things happen lately. And for those of you who are watching from outside of the United States, you're probably looking at what's going on here and thinking, man, what a mess that country is. And it is. We're going through some hard times here right now, and there's a lot of differing opinions on things that have happened and how we should conduct ourselves and all that kind of stuff. And I think we're at a critical time here in the U.S. where, our country's divided in a lot of ways. It's not just about, the recent events. It's not just, there are a lot of factors that are kind of coming in right now that are causing such division and such kind of hysteria and indecisiveness and, between the COVID-19 and, I don't know if I want to get into it too much because, like I said, everybody's got their opinions on things and all that kind of stuff. But I think the only thing we can take away from what's happening now is that we're all human beings. There is no race. We're all human beings. Color of skin doesn't matter. Nationality doesn't matter. Age doesn't matter. All that kind of stuff, whether you got hair, you don't have hair, whether you're straight or gay or whatever, it does not matter, okay? We're all people. And we all need to treat each other with respect. We all need to be looked at and treated equally. And I think until we get to that point, these things are going to keep happening. So all I can say is respect your neighbor, love your neighbor, all right? And, if we work together as a, race of human beings, we can overcome any obstacle, right? But we need to work together. I think, we have a lot of people who are just thinking about themselves, and, I get that. It's very easy to do it, but I think we need to kind of look above that and look at how we can work with our neighbors and our friends and our families to make this a better place. Because right now, not a very good place, I must say. But, we got to get back on the right road. That's kind of the only way to do it. So there, I'm going to leave it at that. So visit us on the web at www.seaoftranquility.org. We're on Facebook, we're on Twitter. Of course, we're here on YouTube all the damn time. More stuff coming up, so don't touch that dial, all right? Stay tuned. We'll see you soon. Bye-bye.